So when Hasbro announced a Studio Series Devastator back in 2019-ish, you know little 13-year-old me was freaking out. I even ended up collecting almost all of them until the aftermarket prices started to kick in, and I just couldn't because I was too broke. But then they re-released the one final piece that I needed, that being Studio Series Overload, and so now here we are. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at all the Constructicons, and then finally look at Devastator. First one we got here is Scavenger. He is decent. His articulation, sucks. He's got a little bit of head articulation, but it's not a lot. These are super tight ratchets due to the fact that these are the Devastator arms. So he's definitely got flaws. This is definitely not his main mode. This is not the mode they focused on, right? So he's decent. Next one we're grabbing here is Hightower. I'm grabbing these in no particular order, by the way. I'm literally just grabbing them in how close they are to me. But this is Hightower. This is technically one of the first concept art figures, because this guy definitely did not show up in the movie, but there was concept art for him. And I kind of like his design. I kind of don't. I don't like the figure because he, once again, has no posability. There's Scavenger, you can at least do something. This guy, his legs kick forward and his neck moves. That's about it. So there's not a lot you can do with this guy, but I mean, he's decent. He's a triple changer, one of the first triple changers ever from Studio Series. What can you really expect about this? Next up, we got Scrap Metal. This guy is, for me personally, my least favorite one of these guys. I don't know why. He just looks very basic compared to the other Constructicons, and I've heard that very commonly. Right? He almost looks like he's supposed to be in G1, right? He does not look like he is supposed to be from Babers. He looks like G1. That's why I don't like him. Also, he's just not that good of a figure, right? I mean, wonky, just wonky on wonky. Next up here, we got Longhaul. Boy, this guy is awesome. This is one of the best Constructicons, as he just looks perfect. He looks like he could be a normal Studio Series figure. He does not look like he's supposed to be a triple changer. He looks like he can be an absolutely normal Studio Series figure. He's got this big backpack, but it kind of pops off, right? You can see there's it's not that, this piece at least is not held on very tightly, right? So you could just have this if you really wanted to. I personally don't care about it too much. He's got some really nice ratchet legs, which you know me, I love my ratchets. But this guy, he's just awesome. He's definitely one of the better Constructicons. Next up, we got my favorite of the Constructicons, that being Scrapper. And while this guy, his articulation is meh, this guy just looks freaking awesome. And he's also just very fun to play around with. I found myself flipping this guy back and forth a ton. And he just looks awesome, right? Like I said, articulation is not great. There's not really a knee bend. I mean, it's kind of there, but I don't think there's a waist swivel. No waist swivel. So yeah, like I said, articulation, very mid, but that's the same along most of these guys. This guy, I just like him probably just for the aesthetics, honestly. Next up, we got Mixmaster. This guy's cool, but he's just not the coolest, right? He's got this giant backpack, but that's forgivable because there's Devastator's entire head, right? So that giant backpack is forgivable. But I just feel like, at least on mine, everything on mine is just loose, right? So, I guess it's mostly just this piece, but that's a pretty important part. So, this guy, he's not great, but he's not horrible either, which is the same with a lot of these Constructicons, especially since these were Hasbro's first attempts at triple changers. I'm not even gonna fight that anymore. These were Hasbro's first attempts at triple changers, and so yeah, you'll see that trend very commonly. But this guy's not bad at all. Next up here, we got one of my other personal favorite Constructicons, actually the first Constructicon I got, that being Rampage. Now, I like this guy just because he also can just fit in your collection, because he does play a, I guess, reasonably important role. I mean, he's not a main character by any means, but he definitely plays a decent role in the movie by kidnapping Sam's parents. And so yeah, I just like this guy. Articulation, not great. Tons and tons of kibble just everywhere. But overall, I just really like this guy. Maybe I just really like the aesthetic, but I really like this guy. And now, last but not least, especially since I have changed my mind on my favorite Constructicon now that I'm filming this segment, the newest addition to my collection, Studio Series Overload. There's the new box art, by the way. not great, but here is Overload. This guy is awesome. He is huge. He's got these really nice ratchet joints, and like he's just awesome. The plastic feels really dense on him. He just looks awesome. Like, come on, that thing is awesome. You cannot even say that this is a bad looking figure. Even just as a standalone, I think this guy could fit. Like, the kibble is honestly not even that bad. Like, for being a triple changer, not bad at all. Taking very quick looks at vehicle modes. Here's an Overload's vehicle mode. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Maybe some like cargo truck of some sort. Here is Scavengers. Looks pretty nice. Rolls nicely too. Very, very kibbly though. High Towers here is definitely one of the best. Just looking exactly like it's supposed to. There's no obvious kibble on it. Besides, I mean, I assume you can see the head down there, but pretty good. Scrap Metal yet again, looking great in his vehicle mode. I think this might actually be one of my favorites. Just because, I mean, like I said with High Tower, he just does what he's supposed to do, and he does it phenomenally. No obvious kibble or anything. Even the bottom's pretty nicely cleaned up. He's just kind of fire. The rubber mode's not, but the vehicle mode is. Here we got Scrappers, which looks nice. This is functional, by the way, which is pretty freaking cool. So is Scavengers, I just forgot to mention it. But definitely a nice one. It's very, very cluttered. I don't know if the actual vehicle is supposed to be like that, but it's very cluttered. Kind of like it, kind of don't. Here's Rampage in his vehicle mode, and he also looks pretty freaking good. It's a little messy, a little bit of hollowness down there. Not that big of a deal at all. I think Mixmaster might be my favorite vehicle mode because he's just so clean that this could just be a normal Studio Series figure. Right? Like, this does not look like a triple changer. It's just so clean. Only problem is the feet sticking out the back, and that's like honestly barely even noticeable except this one. But this thing definitely looks nice. It rolls reasonably well. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite vehicle mode. Long Haul definitely looks nice, although, you know, it takes a lot of effort to get this to say plugged in. But he definitely does look really nice, actually. A lot of these Constructicons look really good. These things were way ahead of their time. Now those guys are cool, but let's go ahead and get this guy combined up properly. Rampage becomes his left leg. Long Haul becomes his right leg. Overload becomes what I like to call the pants. Scavenger becomes the torso. Scrapper becomes his left arm. High Tower becomes his right upper arm. And Scrap Metal becomes his right wrist. So the combining process is a little bit hard to film, so please bear with me. Wow. Just wow. This guy is huge. He's not quite the biggest figure in my entire collection, but he's definitely one of them. This guy, he just towers over everything. And the nice thing is he still has all this beautiful, beautiful detail. I mean, just like look at all of that detail over here. The head sculpt looks great. While it is a little too skinny compared to the actual one, there is the DNA design kit that does fix that. And then he is just a little bit too cluttered for me, almost. I know it's kind of crazy to talk about when you talk about Devastator, but he looks great. Now, the problem with this guy is that by default, he cannot do the crawling pose because he's kind of just staring at the ground. But with a little bit of manipulation, you can get him to do the crawling pose. All right, it's gonna be very, very difficult to film, so sorry about that. So first thing you want to do is you want to take all of this stuff off, right? Just take all of this off. Sometimes it can be a little hard to get this thing off. There you go. And then kind of just like splay these out here. And then these little wheel sections, since those unpeg, you're gonna want to do that for both sides. Get those unclipped. And then just bring this up. You might have to move these out the way, right? Just bring this up, tuck the legs in for the stability, so that way his head doesn't move around. And then you want to you just want to kind of tidy everything up here. I kind of do it like that. Right here, let me raise the camera up a little bit here. I usually have it sitting like that because that just looks best to me. And then what you do is you grab the thingy and then you kind of just put it right back on. You might have to bring this thing a little bit forward. There we go. You just kind of secure that with these side panels. And then you just kind of just bend him down, and then you have the crawling pose. And wow, this looks a heck of a lot better compared to just the regular standing pose. The only problem on mine is that the ratchet joint on my high tower is a little bit loose, so there's a chance that he could topple over. Now, the other problem with this is by doing this, you're putting quite a bit of pressure on the plastic on the hands down there. Like you can see it in Scrapper right there and Scrap Metal. You're putting quite a bit of pressure on those, which now a lot of people are concerned about, but I'm not too worried about it because this just looks 1,000 times better, and I think I'm just willing to take that risk because I know it's not really that big of a chance of actually happening. So in terms of articulation, he's not horrible, but you got to remember just how big this guy is, right? So the head, only thing that's articulated is the mouth, unfortunately. I wish there was a ball joint right here so we could at least get a little bit of swivel, but there isn't one. These can go up about that high, can go out about that far, and there is a little bit of a bicep swivel. It's not a lot though. Then these can go over here, and these can move there. Each of these fingers are individually articulated. Kind of same deal here with this side. Each of these fingers articulated, and this ratchet's much stronger, at least on mine. Ooh. So you definitely want to have those mushroom pegs facing up, or else they do like to fall out. So there's kind of a waist swivel. It's not very useful, but it's kind of there if you want to manage to use it. The legs can kick out about that far, which isn't actually that bad. You can kind of get these guys to kick forward a little bit. There is an ankle tilt though, which is pretty fire, and that's about it. Like I said, it's not he's not a brick, but he's not dynamic, right? So it's about what you can expect from a giant combiner. Quick fire on through some comparisons here. Here he is next to Orion Pax, Bay vs Megatron, upscaled NPM Bumblebee, and finally YOLO Park Scourge. So I guess one of the main questions now is this guy still worth it in 2025? And it truly and honestly depends on how big of a fan you are of Devastator. Because I'm a huge Devastator fan. I love all versions of Devastator. My favorite Transformers game is Transformers Devastation, bro. I love Devastator. But at the same time, if you start from scratch with aftermarket prices, this guy could run you up to $600. So you really, really have to think. If you kind of just if you're fine with this guy just being a statue, then this guy might be for you, because this guy's articulation is not great, but he looks good, although he also looks very inaccurate. So if you're okay with that, then cool. But if you want to look more accurate and you want to get the upgrade kit, that's going to run you another $50 to $60 depending on where you live. So it truly is just a matter of opinion on Devastator, But that has been my review of Transformers Studio Series Devastator. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Transformers content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.